I ask my wife, I go, babe, I think I'm going to wear sneakers. It's a little bit wet out. She goes, no. Man of the year. Man of the year. Man of the year.
Guys, welcome to the #1 friendship podcast in the country. I'm Aaron Cairo.
I'm Matt Ritter.
Matt, welcome home.
I had one hell of a trip and I almost died.
I mean, that could just literally describe every trip you've ever taken in your life.
This was not bodily fluid or
I was just gonna
stomach
say,
related.
Okay.
This was a physical, I took a fall for the ages.
Okay.
Like, okay, you know those comedy movies where somebody falls down a flight of stairs or over a railing and then they switch the actor out with a doll because it's too dangerous for a stunt double?
Yeah.
That's the kind of fall I took in Italy.
Okay.
Can we just talk about the fact that Europe is the land of misshapen, dangerous steps?
Right. Right.
Like, serious question. Do you think that they have contractors in Europe or Italy that own that device called a level?
Like cobblestone, we've the technology
Right.
has
Surpassed.
yeah.
Like, I get the charm of it, but like, can we counterbalance the charm with the danger of walking? I mean, just think about how many older people like must trip, fall, break their hip, and die.
Why
Like,
is
that's
it like
it.
that?
That's it. You walk in, you
Right.
take your step off the plane in Italy.
Right.
You take your first step in Rome near the
Right.
Colosseum. You trip, you fall, hip injury, dead.
You just want some gelato.
Yeah, you just want a little bit of gelato, one carbonara, and not die.
Now, is that because everything is a monument? So
Yeah, it's all historic.
Okay,
So they're like,
got it.
oh, I guess we just leave it like a death trap.
okay.
You know what? The plague wiped out a lot of people. You know what
Right.
wipes out people? Cobblestone.
Right. You know, it was more violent than the Colosseum, the entrance.
The entrance to
Yeah,
the Colosseum.
yeah.
Oh, this is the other thing they do in Europe. Every bar has like a little step on the way out that you're not
Ooh,
noticing.
that's
You're drunk, and it's
bad.
like, oh, why don't we put an extra little step?
The little step kills you.
Kills you. But that's not what killed me.
Okay.
What took me down was a little something called the Trevi Fountains.
Okay.
So I'm trying to be romantic. The moral of this story is going to be, don't try and be romantic.
Okay.
So my wife's pregnant. So I decided to surprise her with a pregnancy photo shoot
Mm-hmm.
in Italy. I thought, oh, that'll be really romantic. So
Right.
like, we'll
Well, you didn't surprise her with a trip to Italy. Once you were in Italy, you surprised her.
surprise her with
okay.
the pregnancy
Okay.
thing. So hired a local photographer through my friend, JMC, thank you.
Yeah.
He had a local photographer there. This guy named Federico, great guy.
He just knows a local.
Local, he just knew a local photographer in Italy.
Okay.
So we're supposed to do a photo shoot of the Trevi Fountains and Spanish Steps.
Yeah.
It's pouring rain.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's like, you sure you don't want to cancel? I'm like, we only have one more day left of the trip.
Yeah.
Like, can't cancel. So tell Jess, I'm like, so then she gets to go buy a dress. And then she comes back and I'm checking the forecast and it's pouring. So Federico's like, you still want to do this? I'm like, yes, definitely. I ask my wife, I go, babe, I think I'm going to wear sneakers. It's a little bit wet out. She goes, no. I want you to look nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I wear my black, nice shoes.
Right.
We get out there and I just have a premonition, you know,
Right.
like, you know, just like, I can see 10 minutes into my future
Yeah.
and it involves like the weird police sound that they make. You know, they don't make the regular sounds, you know, it's got a whole totally different sound in Europe. Sounds more dangerous. So we're there and it's super crowded. So you have to like fight for space. So we found a spot at the bottom. We're taking nice pictures. I'm totally not injured. Haven't
Yeah.
died yet.
Yeah.
And Federico's like, I think I found a better spot on the other side of the Trevi
Oh
Fountains,
no.
which requires us to go up the stairs and then come back and come around the other flight. So meanwhile, I'm schlepping a giant Bloomingdale's paper bag with all of Jesse's changes of clothes and stuff.
Because you guys are doing different
Multiple
looks.
location looks. So I get up to the top of the steps and I come back around.
Yeah.
And I look down at the fountain and I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm going to fall.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you feel like you're going to fall,
Yeah.
usually you can brace yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to walk slow. I'm going to take like more forceful plodding steps. I take literally one step and I go whoosh, full air.
Yeah.
go straight to the bottom, literally land. Luckily it wasn't the Spanish Steps or I'd be dead because that has like 100 steps.
Yeah.
This has like 10 to 12,
Right.
but I hit every single one of them
Right.
and I landed at the bottom. The bag goes flying open, just explodes. All of a sudden I look up and everybody surround me like in Italian, like, oh my God, ambulancia. ambulancia.
No, did they?
Yeah, like I look dead.
Yeah.
But of course, like we're in the middle of a photo shoot, so I just had to play it off like I'm not dead. Like I'm not gravely injured, but I'm like gravely injured. And I was just like, no, I'm cool. I'm cool. So we go back, we take the photo shoot. Then I have to like go around to stores trying to get them to sell me another bag. And then they're trying to sell me suitcases instead because I have like just a bunch of clothes. They're like, why is this guy holding a bunch of clothes? They're like, suitcase, hard case. I'm like, no, I just need some plastic bags. So anyway, so we finished the photo shoot and then we sit down and like the adrenaline had kind of come down. I'm like, oh my God, I'm badly injured, sprained my ankle. And then I thought I tore my Achilles tendon. This was 2 days before the end of the trip. I was like, all right, babe, that was great. I'm going to be watching soccer for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And I didn't even leave the hotel for the last 2 days.
I have some follow-up questions.
Yeah.
One, did you get pictures of the fall?
I know everybody keeps asking me it. Now I'm like, there's got to be a closed circuit. It's Trevi Fountains. I have to ask the government of Italy if they have closed circuit on the Trevi Fountains from that date.
Why don't we just go on TikTok and be like, were you here on this day?
Oh, the Italian TikTok must be having a field day with this. Idiot tourist falls down.
Moron American murders himself. Dick, asshole.
Asshole tourist falls down the entire flight of Trevi Fountains. I'm still badly injured. My legs, this is weeks later, I'm in a lot of pain.
My other question is, if it was raining, so their pictures are you're just wet?
Oh, soaked.
Okay.
So I had an umbrella, like I'm doing I'm holding the umbrella over us.
Yeah.
But then other times I'm holding my jacket over us. Very romantical,
Right.
but also soaked.
Also,
she got sick, which is like not great for pregnancy too. Like I'm injured and then she started getting sick.
I mean, considering that one of you is pregnant and someone fell down a flight of stairs.
Should have been me.
I'm
Should
glad
have
it was
been me.
you.
I'm glad
it was you.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah. And I will say, because I come to her defense, I feel like sneakers are in now. People even wear shoes anymore.
She's dick move by her.
But like seriously, like shoes are not in anymore.
Yeah, nobody wants black shoes at a wedding or photo shoots. Like I should have been in white sneakers.
Do you remember like when we were fucking in our 20s? Like,
I know where you're going.
Living in New York, going to Vegas, you had to wear shoes.
Can't come in.
Can't come in.
Oh, you're dressed up really nice, top to bottom?
Yeah.
Except you have cool white sneakers?
Yeah.
Can't come in.
Can't come in.
Oh, you're wearing $800 Kanye's? Not Kanye's.
No,
Somebody else.
no.
Kobe's?
Yeah.
Whatever the cool
Whatever
sneaker
they
was.
were. Yeah.
You can't come in.
Yeah. And now it's reversed itself.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey.
By the way, I think that policy was racist. That was the whole thing. Pretty sure that was what it was.
All dress codes are a little racist.
Right, but that
yes.
was specific. That specific New York one
Right.
was definitely a racist dress code.
Right. And now everybody's in sneakers. It's weird if you're wearing shoes.
Right. Can't come in. Now it's probably like, you can't come in. You
Right.
look dorky.
Right.
You're too formal.
Like,
we don't want you in
What's
this
up,
club.
Steve Madden? Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here, Steve Madden.
But still, we're so ingrained because that was our formative years that when we just went to Vegas, someone sent a text, do I have to
Do
wear
I
shoes
need
in
my
the club?
black shoes?
Yeah,
They're
do you
like,
need black
no,
shoes?
you loser.
Yeah, you fucking loser.
How old are you?
We don't even wear socks
I
anymore.
know. Theo, our producer's laughing at us like, what are shoes? What do you mean by shoe?
Yeah.
What mean you by this black shoe?
Yeah. But it's just funny because like even at the wedding we went to recently, the bride and groom were wearing sneakers.
I know.
Yeah.
They look great.
Yeah. They look
But
great.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was wearing sneakers only because I'm in agony. I was
Right.
going to wear shoes. I was like,
Right.
I physically can't.
So in this episode, we're going to talk about traveling with friends, like tips, tricks, how to make a great friend trip, road trip, boys trip, maybe how to meet people when you're traveling. It's all about traveling.
I love it.
So what do you think about this? So my parents were recently traveling with their friends who are another couple. And at the airport, my dad and my mom get upgraded.
Mm.
And my dad actually turned it down. He was like, no, if we can't all do it, then wow, Matt, your face. Hold on. So he was like, no, we're all going to stay in, carriage class, whatever. The woman at the desk actually said, oh, you know what? That's really nice of you. All four of you are upgraded.
Wow.
But
wow.
But I have two questions / comments. One, my dad saying it's falling on the sword and be like, no, we're not going to do it unless, you know, we can all do it. And two, the guy who didn't get upgraded, if you're that guy, you have to say, no, I insist you take it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought your dad was going for. I thought he was going for the polite, oh, I can't do this. And then they go, oh, no, you should. No, you should. And then he goes, see you at the end of the flight.
Yeah.
See you in Maui.
Yeah. No, my dad was.
I think I've done this to you.
Yeah.
Like,
you
hey,
have
Cairo,
to. Yeah.
You go left.
Yes.
I go, no,
Yes.
I go left.
Yes.
You go right.
Yes.
See you in Maui.
You have to let the other people upgrade.
Of course you do. That's
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah.
Was he really going
Yeah.
for the genuine fall on sword, or was he going for the
No.
polite
No.
gesture? I mean, you know your dad.
No, he
obviously.
was genuinely like, we're going to just all sit together.
But what's crazier is that the woman was like, that's so nice. But
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone
No one's ever done it.
genuinely willing to fall on their sword before.
Yeah.
You sure he didn't look beforehand and see that there were four
No, he had no idea.
extra open
He had
seats?
no idea.
Wow.
Have you ever been with your wife or something where just like there was only one upgrade? I've heard that story a couple times.
Yeah, I've given it to my wife.
You have to.
Obviously,
Yes.
obviously, got to give it to your wife if it's that situation.
Right.
I mean, I've definitely been in situations where the friend had upgraded and I was in coach, and it's the worst.
Right.
I mean, you also have to make them feel bad about it.
But what do you
I
think?
got to make you feel bad if I see you in coach.
I mean,
Send you shrimp cocktail.
honestly, I prefer to be away from you.
I send you a shrimp.
When we're traveling somewhere together,
Yeah.
you'll be like, what's your seat number? I'd be like, don't.
You're like 68, 68Z. You're like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's a big plane. I thought it was only 8
Because what about sometimes like women will like to like, oh, but we have to sit together. And I'm like,
Well, what's funny about that is my wife and I now, we traveled business class to Europe,
yeah,
which you have to do.
yeah.
Uh,
So relatable. So relatable.
these seats aren't in the same like
Oh yeah.
row as each other
Yeah.
now. They have these like angled
Yes.
lay down seats where it's like, dude, I can't even see you from
Right.
there, and you're in the next seat,
Right.
and you're like under a little
Yeah.
bubble. It's
my,
amazing.
My parents did that. My mom got mad at my dad. What is this? We're
Yeah.
we're in
Actually, for once, my wife was like, I miss you.
right. And you're like, why can't they just leave us alone for like a minute?
I know.
Like a fucking flight.
So yes, you should never actually fall on your sword and give up a
Right.
business or first class ticket.
Right.
That's insane.
Any advice on like traveling with a group of guys on like optimizing the trip, making sure everyone has a good time?
Yeah. Well, one is like, you have to be cognizant of people's financial stuff too
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And you also not everybody has to do everything.
Right.
So like if somebody's not into golf, like don't try and force them to go to Top Golf. Let them have their downtime.
Dude, I was in Vegas once and everyone was going golf karting? No,
Go-karting.
go-karting. And I was like, I do not want to do this.
Yeah.
And they're like, come on, man. Like,
I know.
nah.
Yeah.
And they all came back with fucking,
I turned down a go-karting for that reason.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? My back's kind of
yeah.
Iffy.
No, they had like tire burn. They fell out and shit. Like, doesn't seem fun. I'm not 12. I don't want to go to fucking go-kart. But I like that. Giving people the opportunity to opt out.
Yeah, like let them opt out. Just don't, but also, usually when you're with if you're going with a big group, there's going to be kind of groups that break off,
I disagree, by the way, with the go-karting stance.
You love go-karting.
I think you have to go.
Yeah. You think everybody has to,
You gotta go.
you got to go go-karting?
You're not gonna go go-karting?
Well, you're saying
Or just anything.
you have to go to every activity.
I think you should, unless like for some reason there's like a strong reason that you can.
Yeah. I don't
Nah,
like go-karting. I get hurt.
Producer Theo still has that young 20s energy where he can go to every single thing on a.
I don't know,
traveling.
like just have this Gen Z energy. This
Yeah.
is just, it's really freaking me out.
I would say, look, here's my biggest friend travel tip.
Yeah.
Don't travel with a friend that isn't a good travel buddy for you.
Mm.
Don't, like, some people just don't get along traveling, they get along otherwise.
Right.
And like, don't cause friendship friction by like planning a trip with somebody. If it's just the two of you and you're like, I've already traveled this trip and it doesn't go well.
Right.
Why are you doing that again?
Well, traveling is like the highest form of friendship.
Yeah.
Like,
But I'm saying, like, sometimes people aren't good travel companions.
right. What makes a good travel companion?
Well, if you're somebody who, like, for me, my wife and I are good travel companions for each other because we both love go, go, go. We were in Italy and London. We went to 10 museums in 12 days.
Yeah.
I would be a miserable travel companion for somebody who's like, just want to chill on the beach.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. So you have to
So-
just make sure you have that conversation ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it's like, hey, I want to go to this place, but you have two different ideas of what that, because I'm sure for a lot of people going to Italy
Right.
is not going to 10 museums.
So do you remember when we used to do road trips, we created a system called Ritter Rules?
I mean, I honestly, you know what's sad? It's like, I don't even remember the rules of my own namesake.
So these are the rules. This is road trip rules. One is that you have to be ready on time.
Yeah.
Because you're leaving at 6 a.m. Ready on time.
Yeah.
2, whoever's driving fills up gas beforehand.
Yes.
We would get in the car. You're like, all right, guys, just got to go to Shell. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And 3, I'm getting angry. That's why we created rules. You have to get your coffee ahead of time. We're not stopping at Starbucks. We're going on a road trip.
Oh, that one drives me crazy now.
Oh, really? You love getting stopped for coffee.
No, so now I've subscribed to the
Wow.
rules that were created for me.
Right.
I've learned.
Right.
This is called personal
Yeah,
growth.
okay. And we need to
So
accept
now
that. Yep.
I have friends. My cousin's the worst.
Yeah.
He'll never have his coffee before you're on the road. It's like, I got to stop at Starbucks. It's like, dude, you had 3 hours to get your Starbucks.
It's crazy. These are made for Matt. I thought
Right.
Matt made them.
No.
These rules were
Yeah.
made because and now I'm always on time. I always gassed up,
Yeah.
and it will drive me nuts if anybody
Well,
hasn't had their coffee.
on the way to the Super Bowl this year, you made us stop for coffee.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. But
I'm such a fraud,
Yeah.
damn it.
But hearing that you've exchanged and accepted
Yeah.
it, because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not a coffee drinker. I don't
Yeah.
drink coffee. I don't have caffeine. So people just think I'm a sociopath in general. Which I
Yeah,
am.
you don't understand that people who are
I know.
really addicted to coffee cannot function without it. So
I
it's
know.
like, you
I
got to
know.
get it for them. But yes, it's super frustrating.
Gassed up on time and get your coffee.
Bathroomed too.
Bathrooms, yes.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
want to take a bathroom break
Yeah.
within the first 2 hours of any road trip.
Yeah. But that does make me think of like another, I think, fraught sort of friendship travel issue is house guests.
Yes.
Now, you have a lot of house guests. You know, are there anything that like, pitfalls or red flags or issues that you've run into?
Yes.
Yeah.
So many.
Okay.
So many.
Okay. Yeah.
One is people are just inviting themselves
Oh,
to stay with me.
interesting.
It's a problem.
When you say inviting themselves,
Meaning like, look, love my friend, love all my friends. We just have had a lot of people who happen to be travel. LA is a very common destination spot.
yeah.
So we end up just like having people be like, yeah, I'm here. Can I stay with you? And I'm like, weren't you just here?
Right. Right.
I
right.
feel like there's got to be like a time distance gap, a Cairo algorithm
right.
for how frequently
Right.
you can stay at somebody's house.
But do people reach out with sort of with privilege? They think they're just assuming like, hey, I'm going to be there. Because the thing is, you are very generous. That's the problem.
I am. No,
That's
I
the
am.
problem.
That's the thing. I always say yes.
Yeah.
I'm always like, yes. But then I started thinking like, well, you came out, but you're coming out to see somebody else, but staying at our place.
Right.
That's sort of like, and that's the thing. We don't have any boundaries. That's our problem. It's like Jesse and I are like, stay with us. But I'm like, should you be staying with us when you're visiting your friends?
Yeah.
The trip was for them. We only heard about it like
Right.
after the fact.
So when you're staying with someone, how do you proposition?
Oh, okay. So this is, by the way, rule number 2. I never stay with anybody. My new policy is as an adult, I will never stay at your house. This is like a kind of crazy rule that I've established.
Yeah.
And the reason is that when I actually feel like when you stay at somebody's house, you are their prisoner. You are 100%
Right.
in their prison system
Yeah.
that is run by their hard and fast rules. Like, starting with the second you wake up. I wake up at 5. Oh, sorry, I'm not giving you my alarm code, so you're sleeping until 7. I want to go for a jog. Sorry,
Right.
the prison's closed.
Someone told you can't go for a jog?
No, I'm just
Yeah.
saying you don't have their
Yeah.
alarm code, so how are
Right.
you going to get out?
Right.
Or like, I don't want to stay with you. Why not? Just like I'm particular. I like my bed. Do you have the bed that I bought from Sealy?
Right.
Is that your guest bed? No. Oh, you have an air mattress? No, that's not. I'm sorry. I have back problems.
Got it.
Or like, I have a very specific brand of coffee I like in the morning. No. Oh, you have Keurig? Do you have that water vomit? No, thank you.
Okay, but that doesn't mean you're staying in an Airbnb or a hotel. They might not have the right coffee.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not locked in.
Right.
I'm not
okay.
trapped.
Got it.
I'm not fucking trapped.
So you
like
actually want to do the thing that you don't like, which is stay at someone's house, but then not be and be able to go and do whatever you want.
Well, I'm sorry. Say that again.
You don't like when people stay with you, but go have plans with other people.
Well, I'm what I'm saying is I'm not sure that they should be staying with me.
Right. Right.
I'm not sure it's appropriate.
Right.
I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah.
Are they overstepping?
So my buddy just reached out to me, and I think this is fine to chat about. He went to Michigan. He's like, Michigan may be playing in the national championship in LA.
Here we go.
It's like, do you mind if I stay with you? And I said, sure.
Right.
I actually said, can I come to the game? And he was like, yeah, but now I'm like, I don't really want to go to the game.
Right.
But like, why not?
No, but you should have been invited to the game then.
I mean, I invited myself
Yeah.
anyway, but like, I don't find that
Yeah.
offensive.
No, I mean, look, again, as I said, Jesse and I say yes to everything. But
Right,
now, if
right.
we're asking me what are the rules for
Right.
like staying with you, I'm like,
Right.
shouldn't you be coming to visit me?
So let me ask you this. How do you like people to leave the premises? Like, so
Oh, this is a good question.
yeah. So many years ago, I learned something. This actually this was a big fight. Stay with a buddy. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, I didn't strip everything. Didn't strip the bed. You know, you're supposed to strip everything. Theo. He has no idea what that
Yeah.
means. I just kind of left it. I don't know why. I don't know why I did that. We got into like an argument about it, and I've never not stripped.
I thought you were going to tell the story about how you threw up in our friend's laundry bag in college. Was that college?
No, that was my fraternity brother where we went out. We were in Miami. We went out. I think I did a show that night, and we got absolutely blasted. Absolutely blasted. I got home. I fucking I got the stamp from the club all over his white leather couch.
Ugh.
I puked. I think I tried to like I puked like behind a desk. It was just a mess. And then it turned out that he got into some sort of altercation with the bouncer, and he was arrested.
Oh.
So he was like, they had him in custody, and he
Oh.
came back at 7:00 in the morning. I'm just mopping up, and he came in just like, you've never, a hungover, a night in custody. He goes, way to hold down the fort.
Way to hold
Never
down the
forgot
fort.
that.
That's a good one.
But anyway, what do you think about not stripping the bed?
Oh, so I think you should always strip.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about
Right,
it.
right.
Look, if somebody doesn't strip my bed, I'm not
Right.
like, first of all, depending on how long they've stayed, I'm probably just going to have my cleaning lady come do a full clean anyway.
Well, of course. What else would you do? Put it back on?
No, I'm saying like do a full clean of the house anyway.
yeah,
so
yeah.
like if they don't strip the bed, it doesn't matter. 'Cause,
Right.
You know, it's going to get clean.
But do you strip the bed and then sort of fold it up, or you just throw it in a pile?
Yeah, see, I feel like that's like going, there's no need for it.
Right.
It's going in the laundry.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
getting folded. I know, I always find that. I'm like, oh, that's nice that you folded it, but
Right.
I'm literally just, it's
Yeah.
folded clothes that are going into
Right.
the
It's
laundry.
just, it's a little show of
It's a
Yeah.
show. It's
Yeah,
for
yeah.
show. It's
Yeah.
like
yeah.
just so you know, this wasn't accidental that
Yeah.
the bed got stripped. The bed got neatly
Right.
folded and
Right.
into little piles.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you fold it, that means it's been cleaned.
Well, yeah, right. That's confusing, right? Then it could be confusing if it's folded. It could be like,
Right.
oh, was this clean?
Yeah. No one's getting
Yeah.
confused by that. I was thinking, like, how do we travel together? Because we've traveled a lot.
I mean, we always have a good time.
Yeah.
I find this hilarious. You'll remember this. It's like I'm so full of it when it comes to like, I'm always on a fad or something. Like,
Yeah.
do you remember what I was on for Sundance?
You were doing dry January. You were dry January.
Doing dry January. We got there. It was January 23rd.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you really doing this? And I'm like, yeah, I am. He goes, I'll have 2 beers.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a great video of that.
Yeah.
I would just like to go to record. I don't know when this episode will be released. Dry January is fucking stupid.
It is dumb.
Sober October, Dry January. That's the one way to not learn moderation, is to take a month of doing nothing.
It does nothing.
Yeah, it does absolutely nothing.
You gain you lose a little weight.
Yeah.
And then you gain it all back by February 15th.
Although we should say that I've done 2 stretches of 100 days no booze.
Yeah. That'll have an effect.
Yeah.
100 days.
100 days. That's willpower.
That's
Dry
willpower.
January. Suck my dick.
Yeah. Dry January sucks Cairo's dick.
Yeah. So I remember one time we went away together where something very traumatic happened. You and I were in Buenos Aires.
Oh, yeah.
So, is that what you're thinking?
Oh, yeah.
about?
I know where this is going. Wow.
And we experienced an anti-Semitic incident.
Yeah.
It was funny just because
it's funny looking back because
Yeah.
there were a lot of Nazis who escaped down to Argentina.
Yeah.
And now I know what they taught them down there.
Yeah. So I believe that we picked up a couple girls,
Yep.
as one does.
Yep.
And I don't know, were we trying to get them back to our Airbnb or something?
Yeah, well, there was a whole
I
group
picked
of
up.
us.
Sorry, my sister doesn't like that I call them girls. So we picked up
Ladies.
two women.
Yeah. Well, it was 2008.
Okay, well that doesn't mean anything. They were women,
Yeah.
two women.
Yes, and we met them at a bar,
Yeah.
and we paid for their drinks.
Mm.
But they were upset that we didn't pay for the drinks that they had before we met them at the
Really?
place. Yeah. So basically, what happened was
The tab starts when you get there.
right. They had
Yeah.
had drinks before that,
Yeah.
and we were like, "Hey,
Yeah.
can we buy you a round
It's
of
sort of
drinks?"
retroactive.
And then we bought them like 8 drinks, and
yeah,
then they
yeah.
were like, "What about the other 8 drinks we had before you got here?" There's
Right.
a retroactivity.
Yeah.
It doesn't
yeah.
retroactively cover before we got here.
And they called us
Judeo Sucio.
Judeo Dirty Jew. We were like,
I really don't like that they have a more like a. I don't like that they have a nastier insult than I've ever heard in America.
Dude, it's so much worse getting anti-Semitism
Oh,
in
in
another
other
language.
language. Do you remember that I was the one who?
Yes, I
like,
didn't.
I was like,
we didn't know what the-
something's going on.
Yeah. You have a good anti-Semitic
Ear. I've got
Yeah.
a good ear for
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
got- I don't have a great ear for languages.
Yeah.
I've got a good ear for anti-Semitism.
Yeah, because you actually do you speak any other languages?
Spanish and Hebrew.
But like, did you do any Spanish or just like not really?
Un poquito, Eric.
Okay, no, because I can converse. I somehow
No,
I
I got in Spain
okay.
and in Mexico.
yeah.
And do you remember the symbol? They did
The
this
tapping of the elbow.
Look it up
Yeah.
on Google. What does this mean?
Tapping of the elbow.
I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I've never seen a
Yeah.
slur that seems like a dance.
Yeah, yeah. It was almost like beautiful. In
It
a
was
way.
a beautiful. It was literally like, oh, this is a whole beginning of Saturday
Yeah.
Night Fever.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Sucio Jews.
Oh man, that was fucking dark. That was absolutely dark.
Asking for a friend.
So I thought we should take a listener question.
Yeah.
And guys, we're taking questions now. DM us on Instagram. We're also on Twitter, TikTok, and we'll answer it on the pod. We always anonymize it, so I don't have to worry about that. Do you want me to summarize it, or would you like to summarize it? Okay, this was actually a voice text on Instagram, so I'm just gonna summarize it. Basically, this is a girl who has a girlfriend who lives in another city, and so a couple times a year they do a girls' trip, and the friend got married, and so when our friend went to visit her friend, she thought she was going to be spending a lot of time with her friend, and the husband was there the entire time. Now, she says that she likes the husband, but she still thought she would have some time with her girlfriend. Now, when they do future hangouts and trips and visits, how do I get girl time and not just the three of us? Great question.
It's an amazing question. Happens a lot. I have been guilty of being the husband who didn't know
Really?
that this was happening. Yeah. And so I want to talk about this from multiple levels. One is sometimes you're just totally unaware as the husband that you're just trying to be a good host. Like for me, I'm a really good host. I always like to entertain people. So I remember this years ago when my wife's friends would come visit. I was like, okay, I'll take them out, show them the whole city,
Right.
whatever, and all the stuff. And I just specifically remember my wife pulling me aside and being like, yeah, you just not come to this brunch. Like we haven't
Yeah.
seen each other like
Yeah.
in a while. And I was like, oh, like I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Like, so I think in answer to our listeners' questions, first of all, don't assume that the husband even knows that he's doing anything wrong. So like, first of all, it's not like malicious. It might just be, he doesn't know that he thinks he's actually,
Oh, yeah. It sounds like he probably doesn't know.
right. He just thinks that he's supposed to show you a good time too.
Yeah.
So in how to solve this, it's a couple things. One is, what is the relationship between you and your friend, and what is her relationship with her husband? So for my wife and I, it was really easy because we're not super codependent. Like me not being around or not joining in on everything they're doing is super simple. But there are a lot of couples where the husband or wife is very codependent,
Right.
doesn't have a lot of activities to do.
Right.
And so they're used to participating in everything that you do, even if your friend comes to town. So
Yeah.
it sounds like that is the type of situation they're in where the husband might be codependent. And so he doesn't know, and he actually doesn't have anything else to do. And
Right.
so the other part is how, what's your relationship with your friend? Of like, it should be pretty easy for you to say this to your friend.
Right.
It should be very easy for you to say to your friend, hey, I love your husband. Start with, I love your husband. I really enjoy hanging out with him, but I just wanted to get some alone time. And I think most women will understand that 100%. So don't assume that it's going to be a hard conversation, first of all.
Yeah.
But second of all, easiest fix is just doing something that he's not going to want to participate in.
Like what?
A Bridgerton brunch.
Okay.
How about a Bridgerton brunch? We're going to do a Bridgerton brunch.
They're going to the spa. You're getting
Yeah.
mani-pedis.
Yeah, we're going to Ojai Valley Inn.
Right,
We're getting
right.
manis and petties. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could do that, right? You could do the manis and petties thing. But I think it's really not that hard to solve. Is if you just say, hey, I miss you. I have some stuff I really want to talk to you about, just some alone time. But also just from the wife's perspective, like also you don't have to, if your husband is very codependent, you can just be like, hey, honey, she needs me. You could just be like, oh, she really needs me, like some alone time. Like she's, like it's personal time.
Because it does seem like something that maybe we don't think people will get offended by, but either the girl or her husband would get offended.
Right. So if there's a chance of offense, right, you could just go with the, hey, we're doing the mani and petty thing, but he could also be like, it's been a while since I got these bunions done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if there's a chance of offense, you have to couch it in, I love your husband.
Right.
Like, I think he's awesome, but I just really miss you.
Yeah.
Like we just haven't had a one-on-one,
Yeah.
girl, gossip sesh.
Yeah.
And I think that will solve. Like, I literally don't think I think you're not giving your friend enough credit. Like, I think you're not giving your friend enough credit. I think you're not giving your friend's husband enough credit. I actually think just give them a little credit that if you communicate it,
Yeah.
it will be heard. But you didn't communicate this. You have not communicated this. It sounds like, according to the, we heard the voicemail, it sounds like you never communicated this to your friend. So first of all, don't assume that you're going to offend your friend. Don't assume the worst. Don't assume you're going to offend your friend or their husband.
I could never imagine being one of those codependent husbands.
I know a lot of them.
I just guys, you need to have a life.
I know a lot of guys that have no life.
Like, that's why when you're talking about, a house guest staying with you and they're doing their own thing, everyone should just be able to do their own thing. I don't even want to be involved. Don't call me at all.
Not everybody's like you.
Yeah. But I'm just like, leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Like I just, this, especially with romantic relationships, and obviously every relationship is different. You don't have to leave everybody alone.
Leave
you don't have to be
everyone
on
alone.
top of each other.
I know, but look, what's funny about it is I'm not like that, but I didn't know that my wife needed that. Even I didn't know that once upon a time, even I didn't know that my wife and her friend needed their alone time and that I was over.
But why would you even assume that you have to take your wife's friends out?
I guess they hadn't been to LA and
Where's your wife?
No, she was with us. I'm just saying,
okay.
I thought I wanted to be part of it because I'm the host.
I mean, it is the nice thing to do. They're staying at your house.
Right.
I guess it could go the other way where it's like, is Matt not even going to say hi? Yeah.
So now I've probably gone the other
way. Yeah.
Now it's like,
where's Matt?
Where's Matt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now they're like, usually they'll take a little girls' day trip.
Got it.
And I'm not like, that's obviously clearly like known to me, like not welcome.
Got it.
Like, Matt, not for you. So I think one thing you can actually do is send out a game plan of what you're going to do of activities. And you could literally go, all of us brunch. And then it could just be like, Kim and, Allison go to massages.
Yeah.
You can just put it in parentheses, massages, Kim and Allison.
Seems like a little passive aggressive.
I'm saying if communicating it is hard.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a way to do it.
Yeah. Girls brunch.
Yeah.
Girls go.
If you just send out the calendar invite, girls brunch.
Right.
Just send out a calendar invite, girls brunch.
Right. Yeah.
Girls massage.
Yeah.
Bridgerton brunch.
No boys allowed.
No boys allowed. Also, another fix would be like maybe, as a wife, like plan something for your husband to do during that time.
Oh, first of all, these fucking husbands, such pieces but that's a great advice. Hey, I got you 2 tickets to the game. Go with Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, these fucking, that's both brilliant advice, and I feel bad for this made up husband.
Maybe not made
Well,
up.
no, he's a real husband.
Yeah, he's
but-
a real guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Asking for a friend.
So now that you're like married and do you have trouble like making time for boys trips? Is it harder to get away? Like you have to travel with your wife?
100 million % it's harder. I mean, every guy, I think, married guy out there would agree. It's a difficult thing. You're just not going to be able to take the same number of trips that you used to take with your friends. But I think part of this pod is acknowledging the need for some of that.
Yes.
And look, our Man of the Year ceremony is a baked in one. And as I said on the first episode of the pod, I actually was thinking about missing it during COVID. And then my wife was like, no, this is important for you and your friend group. Like, it's crazy to think back now. I almost missed this because I was like, I'm so busy, I'm married, this and that. So yes, it's much harder, but it's important to bake them in. And I think you have to now, as you're married, you have to aim for quality over quantity. You're just not going to get the same number of boys trips.
I was actually on a date last week, and I was saying that I need one holiday. I need Thanksgiving because it's important to my family and because that's when we do the Man of the Year dinner that same week. I go, you can have Christmas. I mean, this was like second date, so it's fine. You can have Christmas, you can have Easter, you can have New Year's, you can have everything. I just need this one holiday. And she was like, I'm fine with that. I'll make that trade.
I love that you're using that to weed out potential love interests. You're like, we can never spend Thanksgiving together. Is that okay with you?
No. She's no, I'm not gonna, no, she's just got to come with my family. I will go to your family. I will go to your family for everything. But Thanksgiving we got to spend with my family, and Tuesday with my boy family.
I like it. Can I ask you this? Do you think like this is the one thing I'm thinking about? I hope I have as I get older. We haven't really established like married group trips the way like did your grandparents or parents like travel? Like it sounds like your parents travel with couples.
Yes.
That used to be such a thing. Like I want to bring that back.
Yeah, I mean, you've done some couple trips that I wasn't invited to, which was fine.
Yeah.
My parents go on like these like couple trips. They love it.
Yeah, like
multiple couple.
Like after having spent 2 weeks with just my wife.
Right.
I'm like, come on, can't we have somebody else here?
Right.
Gotta have somebody else here.
Dude, once you add one more, each person you can also make conversation with.
That's why I have 7 years until my son becomes somebody probably that I can communicate.
Oh, is that
like,
the 7 years and they're like sentient enough for you to have a
I don't
conversation
know.
with?
I just threw that number out, but it's like if you can't make friends, you have to literally make friends. If you can't make friends, make friends.
So, what did we learn?
So I think we learned for the listener question is, give your friend and their husband a little bit of credit. You have to be the one to communicate if it's your issue.
Yes. I also think communication is key, well, obviously for everything, but for travel, house guests. Maybe you don't want people to strip the bed. Maybe you don't want people to show up when you're not staying with them.
Right.
We're a little afraid to just tell anybody.
Over communicate, and then don't assume the worst. Don't assume that you will offend.
Right. And make sure you think about which friend you're traveling with. If you don't get along on land,
you won't get along on sea
or in the sky.
Or skydiving.
Yeah. All right, that's our show. Guys, if you have listener questions, send them in. Like and subscribe. Write a review. Be good to yourself and be good to your friends.
Love you,
everybody.